Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's section of reads. This should be on the YouTube channel of James 13 Wicca, in case you're seeing it somewhere else. The dice and decks I'm using are also listed below. Other than that, if you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's also below. Thank you very much for watching, and let's get into your selection. Hello, Cancer. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. Ace of Cups right off the bat. We're not doing the whole deck here. We're doing triple and double cards. I don't know why. I'm just going with it. It's fine. If it's fine, why am I whining about it? Good question. What do we have for Cancer? More double cards. It's fine. Why am I whining about it? You gotta stop that. All right, so I feel like this has layers, obviously. Well, from where I'm looking, it's on the table for me. There's a lot going on, whatever this is. There's a lot of layers. This is something you're very deeply connected with. I keep getting like, it could literally be blood family. It could be chosen family. It could be a very close-knit group of friends. If you're very close to your coworkers, it could be coworkers. If you feel it's tight-knit like that, there's a lot going on here. So like this is connected with a group of people that are very important to you. And it's simple on the outside. This is one of those things where on the outside, everything looks fine. You know what I mean? If you're driving by the house, you're like, oh, that's a pretty house. And you just keep going. You don't know any different. Meanwhile, if you live in that house, you're like, oh, yeah, well, the electricity in this room over here doesn't work. The plumbing is broke over there, but we got that okay for right now. The roof should last another couple weeks, but like we need to get that fixed. It's like if you actually live in the house, you know the problems. But if you're just driving by, you're like, oh, that's a pretty house. Like, everybody's lives have problems. I don't know what to say about that. Like, that's not meant to be like a jab in case it's come across that way. But, like, you know, everybody's life has issues. It's just, it was said to me a long time ago, and I do believe it. And I've learned, if somebody tells you their life is perfect, they're either one of two things. Flat out lying through their teeth, or they're crazy. Sorry, but that's the truth. Not on this planet. Nothing goes easy. It just doesn't work that way. This energy, you are very, very, like, it's not bad that you love this. It's not bad that you want to see the best of this. That's not bad at all. The thing is, though, we're coming to a point where it's like the more of the truth we kind of deal with, the better everything gets for everybody, if that makes sense. And this is coming up to a moment where it's like we can have a lot of notable improvement. This could be hard for you because it's like you want the best for the people you love, like, obviously. But sometimes we got to get into some of the dirty parts to kind of like say, hey, this doesn't look right. We got to clean this up. This isn't smelling right. And we're going towards one of those moments. Just going to let you know right off the bat. It's not the worst thing for you, but it's one of those things where it's either we kind of face it and start cleaning it up, or we don't. This is one of those things I feel like it's going to be hard to do that, but it's definitely something you can do. And I feel like for most of you, you've probably done it before. It might be one of those things as you see it coming towards you, though, you're like, I don't really want to do that again. I don't want to go through that process again because it's not comfortable. It's not enjoyable. It's probably also something where it weighs on your mind, kind of like this could be coming towards something where you're like, that really needs to go differently, or I know something isn't quite right there. You might have those little inklings where you just know something isn't quite right. And you kind of want to fix it, but you're like, I don't know if it's my place to try to fix that. I don't even know what's really going on there. I don't know if I really want to know what's going on there. The moment is coming, though. You got a couple aces? Is it just two? I think it's just two. There might be a third one buried under some of these cards because there's a lot out here. And the information is coming, but your first reaction, like, oh, this is coming in at once. Ace of Cups coming in, Judgment coming in, the truth of a situation, heartfelt connection, seeing a possibility for improvement, very positive, but it's like, at first, we're just not going to react to it. Smart move. I feel like that's perfect. I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. Knee-jerk reaction is going to be, I didn't see nothing. I didn't hear nothing. No, I don't know nothing. Not a bad thing. This is a moment where you kind of need that time to kind of like absorb what you're learning and decide what effect you really can have with it. This is not bad. This is also a moment, though, even though these are good cards, but it's also saying it's heralding in something that's like, it's stressful for you, kind of like first knee-jerk reaction. I didn't see nothing. I didn't hear nothing. What are you talking? I don't know. Bye. Gotta go. Gotta go. This is not bad. This is actually going fairly well. You need a minute to kind of step back and think about it, about what you were learning. It's not the worst moment. It's just one of those things where I didn't realize that was, I didn't know that. And I don't know that. If anybody asks, I don't know that. I keep getting that. Like, if anybody asks, I don't know nothing. I didn't see nothing. But also, you did. So, but also, you did. And you're pulling it back, and you're kind of like the undiscovered treasure, uncovering treasure. I feel like if I step back and I look at it, I can see where this could be very helpful information. I can see where this could be very healing if handled a certain way. Now that you know what you know, there are opportunities for things to be improved. It's still quite the tall order, though, because I feel like you have to make a decision on what you will and will not do. This is a great time to preset the boundaries. Why are we saying that? Because I feel like before I even do anything, I feel like I can actually set it up. Like, it's almost like I'm going to make this really, really easy. Say we're going to watch a toddler, like 3 or 4 years old. Before you even offer, you're making sure that your house is set up to like be baby proofed. Basically, you're just kind of like, okay, let me see if I have that gate still. Do I have like, let me make sure like the cabinets in this room are like locked, like, or can be locked, so that babies can't just get in them, or toddlers, whatever. So it's kind of like you have a minute to preset the boundaries before I even offer. I'm just going to see what I have available, what I can do. I can set this up and get myself prepared and ready. And then before I offer, I'm all ready for it. I know where that gate is. I know where these locks are. If they say yes, I'll just go right up. I'll get everything out, bring it right down where I need it to go, and I'll get used to it right now. I'll put the baby locks in effect. I have it already. Presets are already there. I already know like what rooms I will and will not allow the child to be in for safety purposes, not in a the gatekeeping way, in the sense of like, I just don't want you there. More in the sense of like, I can watch you better over here. You're staying over here. Excuse me. This is good before you step forward. This gives you this opportunity to step forward on your terms before you move forward. Is this saying anything different? Because you got the King of Swords, Strength of Air. This is the Strength of Air. You got the King of Fire. You got the Ace of Fire. Like, these seem to be mirroring. Like, you're in this position. I feel like I've just said this. If we have to come back to that, I will. But I feel like those are kind of mirroring the same energy. So they're just like doubling down on it. Okay, so this onslaught of cards. There's a bunch of them. Starting off, even though you're presetting the boundaries, it's almost like I like the toddler actually analogy now even more. Planning for a toddler and dealing with a toddler versus like what they actually do. I haven't had to watch kids in over 20 years, and I'm good with that. I just remember like thinking, oh, they're contained in this room. There's a baby gate. There's this, there's that. And then they're climbing over the couch and throwing themselves over the back of the thing. And I'm like, what is going on? How did you get into the fridge? What is that you were eating? What is that even edible? Like, it's kind of like, I thought it was cool, but then it's like, wait a minute, maybe it's not cool. And what are you eating? And why is it blue? Good Lord. And it's not traumatizing at all. But I'm just saying, this goes, like, even though you're prepared, it's still kind of like, there's certain things that's like, okay, when it happens the way it's going to happen. You're very emotionally invested in this. That's just how it is, and that's not a bad thing. I keep getting, be aware of what's going on here. Be aware of what's going on here. What do we mean by that? Like, I have the need to set up my presets and then just kind of like leave a boundary, like that's the boundary and that's all I'm going to do, right? This seems to not work long term. Yeah, we don't want to be like giving in on our boundaries willy-nilly, obviously, like, oh, well, yesterday that was the boundary, today is a different boundary. We don't want to be doing that either, but also kind of like the boundary is the boundary with the boundary and the boundary. We don't want to do that either. We want to have some flexibility. This is no flexibility, what I keep getting with this Eight of Pentacles, kind of like this is what was set, this is what we're doing, this is where it's staying, which seems like a rational way to handle it, but there's another version. Keeping your peace and being mildly flexible with your boundaries, not all at once. Like if something isn't working, we mildly will flex it, mildly will change it. So like we're going to use the toddler thing again because I don't know why, we just are. So maybe we're supposed to eat at lunch at noon, but maybe that's not working. For whatever reason, I'm having a hard time getting the child to eat at noon. They just don't want to. So maybe we try to push it back like 15, 20 minutes and see, and I try to get them running around a little bit first. And they see, does that help? Does not help. It may actually evolve slowly over time that like, okay, I give them lunch at 1, and it's like I sit them down and I let them watch this certain show. For some reason, they get comfortable and then they get hungry, and then at 1 o'clock they will eat. All right, we'll do that then. It's kind of like we're slowly changing. We're not just immediately jumping it to 1. First we try it like quarter after whatever, noon 20, and then we try it like noon 30. I'm saying this wrong, 12:30. Then we try 12:40, 12:50. The closer we get to 1, like all of a sudden we're finding 1 is the sweet spot. And then I've also found like, all right, I wasn't really wanting them to watch this show at noon, but if I let them watch this show at noon, they seem to get really settled in, then they want to eat, then I can get them to eat a lot of different things. Mildly flexible, and realizing like keeping an eye on it, like what is actually working, and realizing when it's kind of like, okay, that 1 o'clock thing, I'd like that to stick, but it seems like that doesn't always work. Then sometimes the kid is asking the child, the toddler, whoever, at 12:30, they're like, they want to eat. Kind of like, all right, let's do that then, because that's working. I want them to eat. And it's almost like maybe I have a new flexibility, not before noon, but like by 1 at the latest. So like there's a window. Instead of having like, this is the time we're going to eat, I've kind of made it flexible. Somewhere between noon to 1 is where we're going to eat. And I'll just set it for 1 and then we'll do it at 1. But if they ask for it before that, let's do that. And maybe if they ask for it before that, maybe I can get some more negotiability in there. Well, we can, but you got to eat this first. We can do some of that stuff. Some kids go for that. Other kids don't. It's just like an example. There's this, it does seem like whatever the situation is, it does seem like there's only certain things that are going to work. What does this say? Finding sanctuary, like literally finding what works and being adaptable to it. Every now and then something that seemed like it was working is not going to work. It's a very narrow path. It says the desert passage. I keep thinking narrow path, same difference to me. If I can pull that forward. And just kind of running with it in the day. Like I don't want to have like crazy flexible boundaries, but like over time, I'm like, well, let me see if I can try this. Let me see if I can try that. And like, you don't want it to like look like I have one boundary today, a different boundary tomorrow, but like allowing over time slowly some flexibility within reason. So like I hope that analogy with the lunch made sense, because it's kind of like I need this child to eat. They're not eating at 1. It's a fight. By time it's usually like 1 o'clock before they give in to me anyway. So all right, let's try to move it back a little bit. Let's make it flexible something. Let's try to keep it in here. You know what I mean? Like those analogies I get, like there's certain things that we really need to happen, but like how far can we be realistically flexible with it for whatever reason? A lot of healing is supposed to happen here. What is that? There's only so much you can do for this situation. That's a weird ending, but let's go with it. You're doubling down on that too. Okay. They gave me the 2 of Swords on the dice. We got the 2 of Swords on the cards. They're doubling down on this, but they also gave the Lover's card. whatever the situation is, you can only do your part. You can only do your part. And I feel like the point of this is not in like a negative sense, like, oh, this is as far as you're going, you're stuck. That's not how this is supposed to go. This is more of kind of like, you've done your part. No, it's kind of like we got to leave it up to other people to do theirs as well. You're a piece of the puzzle. You're not the whole puzzle. But you are helping, and you're being very good in setting it up for success. There's a lot of this situation that is going to be dependent on other people doing what they're needing to do. So I keep getting the toddler thing. So like if there's issues with the toddler or whatever, they're having struggles, they're struggling with this, they're struggling with that. You're doing your part to bring stability in, and you can talk with and give suggestions to whoever else is doing their part, but you can't do it for them. And it's kind of like realizing there's only so much you can do. Being happy and satisfied with what you're doing, it's making a huge difference. But they're saying whatever the situation is, you're not going to have total control of it. You can only do what you can do. And it's not like accepting it in a negative way. It's accepting it in like, you are helping. This is good. This is helpful. But also like not beating yourself up because you can't solve the whole problem. It's not your fault. It's probably not it's not for you to solve. Participating, great. But having complete control doesn't seem like it's going to happen. I feel like that's why they're doubling down with the Two of Swords. They're like, don't be sugarcoating that. Don't be sugarcoating that. And I try not to, but I almost feel like they're saying, yeah, tell them how it is. Tell them the truth. And I do. I feel like I do. I feel like I'm also getting called out. Well, certain signs I try to be more adaptable because, I'm Pisces, you're Cancer, probably a Cancer watching this. Very heartfelt people take things to heart. And when you care about something or someone, it means a lot to you. And you're like, if you can make the biggest difference, you're going to try to make the biggest difference. So I don't feel like it's sugarcoating they're worrying me about. I feel like what they're saying is like, give it exactly how we're telling it. Give it in the sense of like, they need to know that there's only so much they can do. No matter how much they want to fix the whole thing themselves and just take control of it and own the whole thing, this isn't going to be one of those times. Okay, so just to be respectful to the energy. I was like, I don't think I sugarcoat. They're like, no, that's not what we're saying. We're just saying, give it like we're telling you. Like, don't make it sound a little nicer than it actually is. That's all, which is actually sugarcoating, but whatever. All right, I'm going to shut that down here. Hopefully that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.